Welcome everybody to look at the second film in the Sean Connery six-film collection, all on 4K, all in a steelbook format, physically that is. And yeah, it is 1963's From Russia with Love, so coming out only a year after the first film, Doctor No. And like that film, directed by Terence Young, and once again a spy film, slightly longer at 115 minutes. Had a budget of $2 million, so nearly double the amount of Doctor No, but it had a box office return of 79 million, so that's nearly 20 million more than Doctor No. So, yeah, certified success once again for the series, and once again saw Sean Connery, Bernard Lee, Lois Maxwell, and Eunice Gayson, who played Sylvia Trench in the previous film. She was supposed to be a reoccurring character that would be kind of at the beginning of the film. Her and Bond were supposed to be like getting romantically involved, and then suddenly a mission would stop them, and it would sort of be a comedic kind of thing. But unfortunately, that kind of stopped, which is a shame because Eunice Gayson is really good in the role. She looks great, plays a part wonderfully, and such. But yeah, that just was not the case. Also stars Daniela Bianchi, who I've not seen anything else from before, and she seems to have been kind of typecast and sort of may well have been not seen as anything other than a Bond girl. So yeah, that's a great deal of a shame that she didn't have much of a career after this. Also stars Pedro Armen Diaries, who again I've not seen anything else from before. His life ended in quite a sad and tragic way, to be honest, and this film was actually released after his death. He was suffering from, I think it was cancer at the time of the filming of this, and was apparently in great pain. But he saw through the production of the film purely to seal his family's financial, future, basically. And he unfortunately died via suicide before this film was released, as he was, like I said, in great pain. But he saw this film through for his family, and he puts in a great performance. He's easily one of my favourite actors to be in a supporting role in this film, in this film series. Also stars Robert Shaw, who was in the likes of Jaws, The Taking of Pelham 123, Black Sunday, Robin and Marion, and The Deep. Seems to be one of the few supporting actors in these film that's been in one of these films to actually go on to even greater success. Because obviously Jaws was an immensely successful film, and all those other films I've talked about are also fairly good. So yeah, this also has the first appearance from Walter Gottel, who in a Bond film. Now, granted, he only plays a character in this that was only in the once because his character actually dies in this film. Although he would return as the same character in as a same character through several films in the future, as he would go on to be a regular actor as character KGB General Anatol Gogol between 1997 and 1987. So he'd be in several of the Roger Moore films and in the first of the Timothy Dalton films. So yeah, it's really cool that an actor that was not a major character in this film, but certainly a noticeable character, will go on to be an even bigger character in future films. And that's the thing that you can see with this film series is that people, no matter whether or not they're on camera or behind it, would eventually go on to bigger roles. Peter Hunt, for instance, edited several of the first James Bond films, and then he'd go on to be a one-time director in the Bond series with On Her Majesty's Secret Service. John Glenn would be a second unit director as well in several films, and he'd go on to direct all of the Bond films in the 80s, all five. So he's one of the most prolific directors in the series. So that's just really interesting when you go through this series is how you see for certain things move on in certain elements. And yeah, but as far as the plot goes, this time 007 is directly battling the secret crime organization known as Spectre. Obviously, the Spectre was only somewhat hinted at in the previous film, as yeah, Bond didn't know about them until Dr. No talked about why he's doing it, because he's not doing it for the West, he's not doing it for the East, he's doing it for Spectre. And yeah, Spectre as a whole are really rather filled out in this film in a large way. So yeah, Russians Rosa Klev and Kronstein are out to snatch a decoding device known as the Lecter, using the ravishing Tatiana to lure Bond into helping them. Bond willingly travels to meet Tatiana in Istanbul, where he must rely on his wits to escape with his life in a series of deadly encounters with the enemy. So yeah, though this does hit some of the same beats as its predecessor, this nonetheless feels like more of a spy film with double crosses and more globe trotting, because obviously Doctor No was primarily just in London and Jamaica. Here we're in London, we're in Istanbul, and then we go through a large part of Eastern Europe. So yeah, definitely more globe trotting in this one. Also Venice as well, by the way, I forgot about that. While also featuring better action scenes and a more intriguing plot. Sean Connery is once again great. I'd say in this one he feels way more comfortable in the role than he did in Doctor No. The score is another masterpiece, along with the song From Russia with Love by Matt Monro, which wouldn't be played over the credits. That wouldn't be a thing until the next film, Goldfinger, where an actual song will be played over the credits. It is, again, just an instrumental bit of music over the credits, but the song does pop up a couple of times in the film itself. And yeah, it is also well paced. The action scenes are not only better than the previous film, but still work today, especially the expertly shot and edited train fight, which has been kind of a staple of multiple Bond films since. You know, Roger Moore did it with the character Jaws, as well as Teehee, I think he was called in Live and Let Die. And then you'd see, you know, even Daniel Craig having a train fight as well. So, you know, it's something that has you know, lasted through the years. I like how it is a continuation of the previous film while also having an intriguing plot of its own. Like I said, you know, it is a continuation of the film from before. One reason Spectre wanting Bond to get involved is to get revenge for him killing Doctor No, which again is really good. And the supporting cast is solid. So yeah, an overall excellent film. It's another 5 out of 5 for this series, to be honest. I know I've given it the same rating as Doctor No, but I do on the whole prefer it to that film. I just have a lot of nostalgia and love for the first film purely because, well, it's one of the first films I saw from the from the James Bond series. But also it laid a great deal of foundation work for the series to follow on. But this also did that as well because, yeah, it was really genuinely surprising to see how much the cinematography, editing, production had moved on in such a large way in just over a year. As yeah, all of those elements are far better than the previous film, and yeah, it does come across as a more substantial production, whereas also being a lot less rough around the edges. So yeah, I really do like the steelbook artwork that we've got going on here. And then we've got the reverse, and yeah, they've got the discs. So like I said in the previous review of the previous film, I will go through my favourite extras that are on these discs, but they're readily available to see all those extras anyway. You don't really need me to list every one of them off, but I will go through my favourites when we come to the final film in this box set. But yeah, I do highly recommend it if you haven't seen this film. It is my favourite Sean Connery film at the moment. Now, granted, that has been something that's kind of fluctuated in the past. It used to be Goldfinger that was my favourite, um, but this currently is my favourite Connery film. And yeah, it's just so well rounded in a lot of ways. And yeah, I just love the fact that it feels like a proper evolution of the series. And yeah, certain elements, like I said, would carry on with this film. Obviously, we get introduced to Desmond Llewellyn, who would go on to play Q in multiple films in the future in the series. We do get a little bit more in the way of gadgets. We didn't really have many gadgets at all in the first film, but in this one we got a suitcase which has a built-in knife, a tear gas bomb if you open it wrong. It's got bullets in it, sovereign coins and such. So yeah, it's just a really, really well-rounded film, to be honest. And yeah, it's a proper, it's a successful film as well. And thank God for that, because if this film had made less than the previous film, I very much imagine that the film series in whole would have been in jeopardy, and it might well not have continued on, because there's only one film in the 60s that would make less than the previous ones, and that was, I believe, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which didn't make as much money as, you know, You Only Live Twice or Goldfinger, but it still made more than this and Doctor No. So I guess that's why they kept it going, and might have been one reason why they brought Sean Connery back for Diamonds Are Forever is because that film made slightly less than before. But on the whole, yeah, this is the best of the Connery films, and yeah, second best from the 60s overall. So yeah, but if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.